Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favi, and welcome back to Arrows DIY. Today we're going to have some fun making patriotic decor using spools. This is part of the Just Our Imagination collaboration hosted every month by Brenda at Rustic and DIY and Kathy Jo's DIYs. This month's co-host is Craft Classy. Be sure to check out all their links in the description box below and the playlist link. And this collaboration is unique in that each host picks a challenge item. So Brenda picked a spool, which is why I'm crafting with spools today. Kathy Jo picked to recreate one of Brenda's DIYs because it's her birthday month. And Carolyn at Craft Classy picked a gift bag. So you'll see me use all of these items in today's projects. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. All right, that's enough. Let's get started. I took this napkin I had in my stash for over a year. It was given to me by my sweet friend Tami at Tami T-peep. And I separated all the plies as you just saw. It was a bit of a struggle, but we got it done. No harm and no foul. I'm going to go ahead and take this craft stick from Dollar Tree. It's the thick one. You can use anything, a ruler, a straight edge, whatever you like. And we're just going to cut off the corners because they're a little too tall for the size of this vase. I'm going to use a pencil and a craft stick and just draw a straight line across, and then we're just going to cut it. Very simple. No big deal, right? Now, I wanted to have fun with this piece, make it very abstract and conceptual. This DIY is for Memorial Day or patriotic decor on a budget. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge and a sponge applicator, and I'm going to apply Mod Podge liberally in an even coat all around the bottom portion of this vase, even the bottom, because we want to stick it to the middle of this napkin. Now, this napkin is face down, so the right side is facing the table. And then we're going to center this vase to the middle of that napkin. Now I'm going to flip it over and tap down, smooth the napkin down with my finger. It's very important that your finger is dry and does not have any Mod Podge on it because it could tear this very delicate napkin. I'm going to go ahead and smush down. Yes, smush. It's a real thing. So I'm going to go ahead and smush down, tap down the napkin, starting at the bottom, working all the way down. But right now it's very important to get it into that bottom groove. We don't want to lose the shape of this napkin, and we don't want our napkin to bubble up at all. So take your time and lightly tap down the napkin. And we do want wrinkles here, but since the design on this napkin is very random, it's very forgiving in that sense. So just have fun here. Use your favorite napkin with a very abstract pattern on it. I'm going to go ahead, as you can see, and fold it over, tapping it down all the way. And there's no particular method, I guess, per se. I'm literally just trying not to lose the flowers as I press it down. Sometimes I do need to pleat the napkin so that it will fall flat. But you're just going to go ahead and do this all around. Once the napkin is placed down, if you see any sharp parts, just go ahead and cut it down to make it more of a curve. Once the napkin is flat on the surface, we're going to go ahead with the sponge applicator and we're going to seal the entire napkin with Mod Podge. And it's important to rock the sponge applicator back and forth so that you don't move the napkin out of place. So I do this for the entire napkin. Now once that was done, I went ahead and I wanted to create an amber glass effect on the top part of this vase. So I took a little bit of antique wax and a little bit of Mod Podge, and I mixed those two together. Once it's fully dry, it's going to look more like amber glass on the top of this decor piece. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint it, and I only give it one coat because I want it to be very translucent. And I'm going to do this for the top portion where that napkin ends. I'm going to paint the entire vase from the end of the napkin to the top rim of the vase. So I do this all around, and before it's fully dry, I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm just going to wrap it around the neck of the vase. So I'm trying to decide which side is my favorite, and once I do, I wrap it around the vase 3 times and then I tie a knot. And now I'm going to cut the tails of the jute twine long. I trimmed them down a bit, and then I'm going to make a finger bow using 2 loops. so a double finger bow, I guess. And I made the bow kind of large so that it's charming. Now I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it right on top of the first knot that I made. And I'm going to keep the tails long. That way we have a double bow with double tails. And I think it's so cute so far. Now for the spool. I thought it would be a good idea to put a nice sentiment on this spool. So I'm going to go ahead and paint both sides with this chalk paint in the color Maui Sand. And it only took one coat. I put it on its side to dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this cardboard from the alphabet number stamps at Dollar Tree. I just like the texture of this paper. It's pretty durable. So I'm gonna take some of these stamps. These are IOD stamps and it's called Apothecary Labels. In case you want to get them, I linked Sammy's store in my description box below at unicorndustdesigns.com. I apologize if you hear my kids in the background. They are playing right now. I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my paint markers from Hippie Crafter. Since I don't have any black ink in my stash right now, we're just making it work. I just made sure to use a wipey to wipe off the paint off the stamps as fast as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and just write the word remember. That way we can use this piece to remember the sacrifice that all of our servicemen and women have done for us. It's very important to be grateful for our freedom because it's not free, people. It's not free. And I'm going to wait for that paint. It's a paint pen. So I'm going to wait for that paint to dry. Once it's fully dry, we're going to take some of this antique wax and a baby wipe. And I'm going to lightly rub and stipple on this to make it more aged. Next, I'm going to take this paper and wrinkle it between my fingers so that it looks more aged and rugged, which I love rugged features on my patriotic decor. Now I'm going to take some hot glue and hot glue it to the center of this spool. Now for the empty spot, I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree lace and I'm going to hot glue it from the end of both words to cover the back. So you'll see here that I put it right where the remember word ends and I cut it off where it starts. You could also antique wax the lace as well. But as you can see here, I'm just going to take the baby wipe and antique wax just to give some distressing to the edges of this on top and on the edge of this spool. And then I'm going to hot glue the bottom of the vase to the top of the spool, and I think this makes such a cute decor piece. I'm going to add a light inside of it, so it's kind of like a luminaire. You can use fairy lights or whatever you like, but this is how it turned out. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. As you can see, you could also put a plant in it, and I really love how this turned out. Using a spool, who would have thought? So for this next project, we're going to be using this fabric wine bag from Family Dollar for $2. I bought it in the Christmas season. And I'm going to go ahead and take off the packaging and remove this tiny little hat, which is so funny looking to me. And I'm going to cut off the top part of this bag. Then I'm going to undo the seams by just tearing it apart. It was so simple. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off the bottom here. And I thought this would be an excellent way to use this gift bag in this DIY. If you remember, our guest host, Carolyn from Craft Classy, chose a gift bag, so this is fulfilling that requirement. And I'm going to use some Mod Podge as well as this empty spool. This is from the mesh ribbon at Dollar Tree, so it's very sturdy. And I'm going to go ahead and just completely cover this spool with Mod Podge. So now I'm just going to line up this fabric so that the lines go across and it feels more like a flag. This red stripes on the flag. And then once it's completely wrapped, I'm going to add some hot glue to the end just to secure it in place as the Mod Podge sets. I did not put so much Mod Podge that it bled through the fabric, but you do have to put a good amount of Mod Podge for the fabric to adhere and not lift on itself. So as you can see now, I just cut off the excess on that end there, and I'm going to trim down both sides just a little bit. And then I'm going to push in the extra fabric inside both sides of the tube to give it a nice edge. Now, you don't have to use this, but I had this in my stash, and this is just one of those hair curlers from the Dollar Tree. I've used them in previous crafts on my channel. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this into 4 pieces. This is just going to act as a surface for me to adhere both ends. So this is going to be just some firecrackers, and I think it's going to be super sweet. These are the perfect size to add the perfect amount of stuffing on the ends. You could also add some paper or plastic bags or whatever you want on just to stuff it, but paper would be better. So I thought this would be the perfect thing just to stuff on the ends. Now I'm going to take one of the scrap pieces of the same fabric, and I'm going to use a pencil just to poke a little hole in the center there. Now I'm going to center that hole to the end of the cracker just to trace out the size so that we have the perfect size. So I used a pencil and I drew on the wrong side of the fabric. Now I'm going to cut out this circle just a little bit outside of the line so that I can fray the edges, and I think it adds a cute little rustic charm to this piece. So I took some time and I just frayed the edges, and then I cut it down to make it a little bit neater. But this is what it looks like once it's all frayed, and I think it's so sweet. So now I took a little piece of jute twine. This came from a hanging sign. And I always keep my scraps, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to fit it through there. But I had to make the hole a little bit larger since this is a thicker twine. Now I'm gonna tie a knot on one side and then pull it down right under that fabric. I'm gonna cut off the excess of that twine and then hot glue it right on top of the end there, like so. And I'm going to keep this jute twine fairly long because I thought it was really sweet. I love the way it looks with this long piece of twine, but I did want to add one more feature, so I wanted to obviously finish the bottom as well, and I cut it down to size. I did not fray this side because I thought the other side would be where the fire is, so I only frayed one side of the ends there, and then I added one little knot on the end of the jute twine and then cut down the twine a little bit more. And I thought that was so sweet. I really like this DIY. It's so simple to do. It does not cost that much at all, and you can personalize this with any fabric that you want. So as you can see here, I took a blue fabric from Dollar Tree, the star pattern, and yeah, I did the same exact thing off camera, just giving you another example of how you can add some patriotic decor into your home on a budget. Now this other tube was from the inside of a wax paper. My little boy unraveled my entire tube of wax paper, so I just had to use the roll and fold up the paper. And as you can see here, I did the same thing with the fabric, but this time I just added some of this leather fabric from Dollar Tree and kind of made it resemble the American flag. And I just thought this would add a very nice variety to the firecrackers here in this Dollar Tree DIY. Now, the wax paper was even from Dollar Tree, so I thought that was really sweet. I did the same thing and I cut off circles cut to size, and I added some jute twine the same way as I did before. So I'm just showing you here some examples. I didn't go over all the steps because I've already did it on the first firecracker, but I just wanted to show you some other variations of fabrics that I found at the dollar stores. Let me know what you think about this one because I think they're so cute in this sweet little bundle. I did tie them together just to add a little bit of charm as if they're being purchased in a bundle. So I took some jute twine from my stash and I just wrapped them around 5 times and then I tied them off. But I think this is going to look so nice in my decor. They will look so nice styled on a shelf or in a tier tray. But you guys let me know, where would you put these in your decor and if you would give these a try. I absolutely love how these little ones turned out. Now for the last project, this one's inspired by Brenda over at Rustic and Lace DIY, and this was our host Kathy Jo craft challenge to recreate Brenda's. So I'm going to try to recreate this with a patriotic twist. I took this wood piece from Dollar Tree and I'm going to paint it all in this white chalk paint. Once it's fully painted, I'm going to use this beautiful napkin from my stash. Now my sweet friend Jackie at Jackie Burns Creations sent me this napkin when I was building up my napkin stash. So I so appreciate it. I'll link her channel below. She's so talented as well. Please check them out. All my talented friends in my description box below. And then I'm just gonna fussy cut this. I love fussy cutting napkins. I feel like it gives the effect of a transfer on your projects, and it's so cost effective. If you can't afford or find transfers at your local stores or online, use some napkins and just take your time with some good scissors. My scissors are from Amazon. They were like $5, I think, and they were just so simple to cut out. Now obviously your flowers don't have to be as technical as mine, but I enjoy doing finicky little things like that. So next I take this napkin from Mackenzie Childs, and it's in the navy blue color. So I absolutely love this royal blue check. I'm gonna go ahead and use my favorite Mod Podge decoupage hack of the applying Mod Podge to the surface, letting the Mod Podge dry completely, then coming back with some wax paper and my mini heat iron. And it just gives the most flawless finish. I've done it a lot on my channel if you want to check out my other napkin decoupage videos. I just love this method. Now I'm going to use some sandpaper and just sand off the edges to give it a nice clean edge, and this is going to be the background for this decor piece. Brenda's inspiration piece used a transfer, a cute little bunny transfer, but I'm just going to use some napkins to create a beautiful patriotic scene, which would be perfect for your Memorial Day decor or for your 4th of July decor. I'm not going to do anything to the back today. I might come back on a later day and do something to the back. Today I'm just going to focus on this one side for this project. Once the napkin was fully sanded on all edges, I'm going to come back and add the flowers. And I just love the pop of red against this white and blue. Now as you can see here, the flowers are very thin, almost translucent. So we are going to have to remedy that by painting behind the napkin. At first I thought that I could paint on the back of the napkin itself, which I've done in previous projects, but this specific napkin was so thin that it actually bled through the napkin, and it was actually very difficult to do it without wrinkling the flower itself. So what I opted to do instead was to trace around the border of the flower. I held it in place with one hand and with a pencil just gently trace out the area where the flower will be, and I tried to kind of trace underneath the napkin so that the pencil marks don't show. And now I come in with the same white paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint inside the pencil marks that I just made. So it's just going to be the same exact shape as the napkin piece. And I'm going to give it 2 coats. I was focusing more on the navy blue squares than anything else because that's the darkest parts. So I did paint mostly on top of the navy blue squares so that the navy blue squares don't show so much when I apply the napkin. Once this paint is nice and dry, I'm going to go in and add the Mod Podge. Now, I always like adding Mod Podge after the Mod Podge underneath the napkin is fully dry. So you won't even see any of the wrinkling once we apply the flower. But as you can see here, this is what happens to the flower when the white paint bleeds through when you paint the back of the flower. So I recommend painting the surface, not the flower itself. So now once the white paint is dry, I'm going to come in with the same sponge dabber and I'm going to apply a thin layer of Mod Podge. You do not need a lot because it's a very thin napkin. Once I apply the Mod Podge, I'm going to lay the beautiful napkin flower down and just carefully press it down. Now you can see there that the Mod Podge appears white, but it does dry clear, so that will go away completely once everything is nice and dry. And I will not apply Mod Podge to the top of the napkin until it is completely cured. If I was to add Mod Podge right now to the top of the napkin, it would cause wrinkling. And these are the other flowers here that I painted with white, and I just couldn't use them anymore. I was so sad. All that hard work gone to waste, but it's okay. It's totally fine. I'm so grateful that there were more flowers on that napkin. So I just went in and fussy cut another flower. And I'm going to do the same as before. I'm not going to run you through the same process slowly, but as you can see, I just traced around the flower as before. I painted that spot with some white paint. And then I'm just going to apply the flower with Mod Podge once again. So if you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Favi. I'm a crafty mother of 6, and I love creating. It's just my happy place. It's so stress relieving, and it's just fun. So I love creating home decor, unique home decor on my channel, always on a budget. So if that's something that you appreciate and that you enjoy to watch, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here as part of our crafty family on YouTube. Be sure to say hello if you're new here. I love to hear from you guys, and let me know which one is your favorite out of all these projects today. Once that flower was down, I took off the label on the back, but to make it more like Brenda's project, I'm going to add some beautiful legs. Now this here is a little snowman. As you can see, my oldest son loves creating little figurines. So I'm going to take the one that he didn't color on, and I'm going to use that in just a bit. I also have some of these angel wooden pieces from Dollar Tree, which I love using for Christmas decor, but I'm going to take some of them and use them in this piece today. I'm going to take off the wings. I'm so sorry, little angels, but guys, they're just wood, okay? It's not real. Don't get all defensive on me. But I'm going to go ahead and just paint the bottom part of these little wooden pegs. These are going to be the legs for my little decor piece. And this is not like Brenda's, so like I said, this is my interpretation of her project. Once I got them all painted, just the bottom part, I wanted to go ahead and add them upside down to this piece. And these are going to be like a little decorative feature, I guess we can call it. And I used some Gorilla Hot Glue in my precision tip Surebonder glue gun, and I'm just going to add it like so. I start on the ends to help me with my spacing, and then I'm just going to add more pieces, and I am going to add another piece underneath to help it stand because it's not stable just quite yet. So as you can see here, I'm just going to keep adding pieces right next to each other, holding it firm to make sure that it has a good adhesion. And this is all 7 pieces added to the bottom. So now I wanted to add a decorative feature, just like a little jute twine. And I started by knotting it on the first little peg. And then I'm just gonna wrap it around the second, going all around from the back to the front, wrapping it around all of them. And this is just to add a little texture to this piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and just create another little knot on that edge by wrapping around one more time. And then I add a little knot just so it looks exactly like the other side. And I'm going to cut off the excess. So now to bring some of the red and the white to the bottom, I'm going to add the same little gift bag fabric, and I'm going to add it to this craft stick. You could Mod Podge as well, but my time is limited here. It's kind of hard to create, so I just thought it would be easier to just hot glue it down, but you could certainly use Mod Podge if you wanted to. And I tried to keep the lines as straight as possible. And now I'm just going to cut off the fabric following the shape of the craft stick. And once I got it cut to the best of my ability, I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue it right on top. So I added a bead of hot glue on the end of every single one of these little wooden pieces, and I held it like so until it's set. And now it's stable. Now I'm going to take the little snowman piece, and this is going to act as our little finial. I don't have a lot of finials. I know I have some here somewhere, but I organized my craft space and I can't find them. So this little snowman is going to act like the finial at the top of Brenda's decor piece. I painted it white completely, and now I'm just going to hot glue him upside down on top of this piece. Now, to hide his little hat and the fact that it's a snowman, I'm going to add some of this greenery. I just pulled off one of the picks here at my home. Any greenery will do. Any greenery in your stash is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue it by wrapping it around in between the two little sprigs. And I wrapped it in a way where the smaller sprig is in the front and the larger one is in the back. So I'm going to hold that in place until the greenery is set. Now I made a little finger bow. It's a little thicker than usual, and I'm going to hot glue it right to the center like so. And that's what it's looking like. I love leaving the tails on my bows long, so obviously you can cut it shorter if that's what you like, but I'm just going to tack them down where they naturally want to flow. So I'm going to go with the flow of the twine tails. And I just love this piece. This is how it turned out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I just love how quirky and fun this piece is, and it's perfect for Memorial Day. Here are all the Patriotic decor DIYs in this video. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. I want to thank you so much for watching and always supporting my channel. You guys are amazing. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you never miss one of my videos. Share this video out because sharing is caring. And as always, friends, thank you so much for watching. Take care. God bless. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. If you like this video, here's another one you might enjoy.